I'm on my way to Shirako Station. It was the former headquarters of Patton's Desert Army camps in World War II. In this particular desolate areas, over 1 million men trained in about 5 to 6 locations covering 18,000 square miles and according in 3 states. The Mojave and the Sonoran deserts resembled the deserts of North Africa where the soldiers have to go and fight. On the way there, there's the iconic remote shoe tree, Americana shoe tree, that people stop by and throw up shoes for remembrance. And then also on the way, I also had the chance to stop at Wyatt Earp's last home before he moved off to Las Vegas. This is where he and his wife spent time doing their mining in this area. Everything is so close. I just had to stop. But now let's get on to Shirako Station. Now, probably about 100 people are at Shirako Station right now. It's a major stop in a way, and great little community that is up here between the Salton Sea and the Chuckwalla Mountains. Also, this is where the General Patton Museum is to celebrate Camp Young. The British needed help in North Africa, and so even Canadians, along with the Americans, trained in this major desert community. Now, I'm going to spend 3 or 4 days here, and I'm going to do the camping and explore the area. You can imagine the deserts can be 30 to 40 centigrade, or talk about 100 degrees. Can you imagine just being in a tank, how hot it was? They predicted it was about 160 degrees sometimes in these tanks. So my camping spot actually overlooked where, in this particular location, 18,000 men camped and trained. Except for a few, you see the tank tracks and maybe where the old water tower stood, but very little remnants remain of these training camps. But for the 3 or 4 nights I stayed there, what great evenings. This is what it looked like over 82 years ago. This would have been the view from where I was camping. I can now imagine how harsh this climate was at the heat of the summertime. Even during my time going through in wintertime, it was still fairly warm at night, but extremely cold in the morning. A number of the tanks and other equipment have been well preserved in this area, so it's well worth the stop on the way to California. You're literally camping on top of history. Many of the areas in the Mojave and Sonoran deserts I travel through still contain active military. You can see that in the distance, but a lot of the areas are restricted. You can't get to. But you know, the same area that they trained back over 90 years ago, they still do training, but maybe a little more in secret. So you see a lot of the old history kind of transitioning into our present day. As I leave the General Patton story, I'm going to kind of do another story, kind of like a bonus on the secret builder of many of these locations back during World War II. Now, you may not recognize this person, but it's Del Webb. You probably would know Del Webb from the Sun City back in the Arizona days, but he also had built the Flamingo, taken over at the time the mob had not completed it, and of course went on to famous the Sun City. But he also built a number of the Japanese American relocation camps. So there's some secret history you may not be aware of, especially the one I passed by at Poston around Parker, Arizona. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe.